If I get emotional, don't mind it. I might just gotta end the video, but I don't think that I am gonna get emotional. Hey YouTube, it's your girl Ray. I am back with another video today. It is February 3rd. This is not your normal business video. Usually I give videos about business advice, giving out vendors and just stuff like that. By the title, you can see this is not a normal video that I usually do, but I felt like it, so I thought, why not? Before we get into this video, my website will be linked in the description below. For everybody that's coming back, thank you so much. Hey loves. For everybody that's new, thank you for watching my video. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. So like I said, as y'all can tell by the title, y'all should know what this video is about and what's going on in the video. Give me 1 second, y'all. Basically, in this video, I'm going to be opening up to you guys because a lot of people don't know my story, but y'all don't know my story because I don't put it out there. I'm not gonna say secretive. Some people might say I'm secretive. I'm a very personal, private person. So when it comes to my personal life, I like to keep my personal life in my personal life, and whatever I want to put out there for the world, I put out there for the world. But I just feel like this topic isn't out there as much. Like, people don't, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I feel like people don't think that it's as serious as it is. So that's why I'm making this video, just to open up so people know me, I guess. I told y'all I'm so sidetracked. For those of you who do not know, my name is Sheree. It's Ray. That's why I do Ray, because some people don't know how to pronounce my name or they don't remember it. But I'm 21 years old. My birthday is November 17th, and I've been in foster care since, well, I was in foster care 2 times, so let's just rewind it back. I was in foster care when I was, I think I was 4 to like 8. And I went in foster care the first time because my mother had beat my oldest brother with a baseball bat. So she had got arrested, took me and my other 2 brothers, and they put us in the foster care system, but they didn't separate us. They put us in the same group home together. And I said group home, sorry, it was a foster home. They did put us in a group home at first, but then they moved us in this foster home. And it was just like this mean lady that we lived with. Her name was like Miss Hill. And she was so mean. One day, she was mad at me. I had to be like 5 or 6 by this time. I still remember it. She was mad at me. So I don't know what I did. I think I talked back to her, or I said something, but I was young and she was mad at me. So she had called her son, and I had this little playhouse. I think I said something to her. I told her no or something like that. So she had called her son, and then I was hiding in the closet, and her son came, and they took my dollhouse and they put it outside, and then they had dragged me out the closet, and then they made me watch her son. She made me watch him smash my dollhouse. And mind you, I was like 5 or 6, and I had said no, or I like probably talked back. So her son had did that. I guess they thought that that was like a punishment, but it really wasn't. It was traumatizing because I was like 5 or 6, and y'all just smashed my dollhouse with a hammer. So I don't know what type of punishments people think is acceptable, but personally me, I don't think that that's an acceptable punishment. Maybe taking the toys away, yeah, but smashing somebody's toy in front of them and forcing them to watch it, that's just that's just too much. But that was the first time I was in foster care. Then my mom had got me and my 2 brothers back. She didn't want my oldest brother back when I was like 8, I believe. Yeah, I was 8. So she was like on probation for like 2 years, because they do this thing where like they give you a social worker, and they make you keep the social worker for 2 years, and the social worker always came over the house, and she talked to us separately to make sure, like, you know, my mom was doing what she was like supposed to be doing and stuff like that. And everything was fine. I never really got in trouble too much. Sometimes my brothers did, and my mom would like hit my brothers and stuff like that, but she never would hit me. And I think the reason why she didn't hit me is because if she hit me, then she would go back to jail or something like that. I'm not too sure on the details because I was young. But moving forward, she had me for when I was 8, when I was 9, and then when I was 10. I think when I left her, when I went back in foster care the second time, it was either a week before my 11th birthday or a week before my 12th birthday. I feel like it was a week before my 12th birthday. And basically my mom, she was mad one day because I was outside playing with my friends, and like outside on the street and stuff. And my mom, she used to be like so mad and like full of anger, my biological mom. So she was like cussing me out and stuff like that, made me go in my room and everything. And then she was like, she didn't put her hands on me yet, but I guess she wanted to. And she used to hit my brothers like a lot sometimes. And I told her, I was like, I had to be like, I told you I was like 10 or 11. I was 10 or 11, it was a week for my birthday. And she asked me did I like want to stay with her or something like that. And I told her like if she was going to beat me like she'd be my brothers, then no, because she used to hit my brothers a lot. So she got mad. She had called my grandma in Florida, and my grandma in Florida was like, did I want my mom to like go back to jail or something like that. It was like really like weird kind of, because I don't think everybody was seeing like it from my mom everybody was seeing it from my mom point of view, and not like really what was going on. Like my biological mom, she was like really just like mean a lot. Like what everybody's saying, like that's the person that what you see on the outside is not what you see behind closed doors. So then that's why I told my grandma, I was like, I just don't want her hitting me like she hit my brothers and stuff. And then my mom got mad. So she took me to like all these police stations, and they was like, she was trying to drop me off because she didn't want me. And I know it's so crazy. Like, I don't know, like just looking back at it, it's so crazy. And this when I was like I think I was in 6th or 7th grade, and I went to this school called Whittier, and it was uptown in DC. So she took me to all these police stations trying to drop me off, and they was telling her if she leave me, then it's gonna be neglect, and she was gonna be charged with neglect and all this other stuff. So then that's when she we went to this one police station. What district was it? I don't know. I can't remember what district it was. I don't think it was around there. That's over there by Georgia Avenue. I don't think it was that one. She took me to one. I don't know. It was dark when it happened, but she took me to one district. I forgot what district it was, and it was this police officer. And then they was like, you know, you can't whoop your kids, I guess. So then my mom was like, really? And she was like, cause I didn't know. That's why she didn't put her hands on me. So then she took me back to the house, and she was with her friend. She dropped her friend off, Roslyn, I think. Yeah, it was Roslyn. She dropped her friend off, and then we had went home. And then that's when I had went upstairs, and we went in the house. And then that's when she just started hitting me. Like, she was beating me with a belt. She was hitting me with her hands and everything. And my brothers, they were in the house, but they wasn't doing nothing about it. So then when I went to school the next day, she had already knew that she was going to get, like, not like arrested, but she already knew that she was wrong and everything. My brothers, they were like older, so they wouldn't get taken away. Like, they were like, I think my oldest brother was like 20 something, and my other brother, he was probably like 18 at the time, so they wouldn't get taken away. I was like 10 or 11. So she had packed all my stuff up and put it downstairs. And when I went to school, I had like bruises on my face, and I had like bruises on my leg and stuff like that. And then they sent me to, as soon as I got to school, they sent me to the guidance counselor, and it was hot outside that day, and she made me wear like a sweater to like cover everything up. And then they sent me to the guidance counselor. And then the guidance counselor, I forgot who the guidance counselor was at this school. Again, I went to Whittier. I don't know if her name was Miss Davis or something. Can't remember. But it was like really terrible, and it was messed up because when she seen the bruises and stuff, what they do, the social worker to school, what they do when they see it, that's when they call CPS. And the social worker asked me at the school, she seen all the bruises and everything. Like, my body was like really bruised up and stuff. And she asked me, she was like, are you sure that you want to go? Because if I call them, then you won't be able to go back home. And I was like tore up. Like, I was beat up and everything. Like, really bad. Like, bruises everywhere. And like a slight black eye, but not like a real black eye. But the hairstyle I had, it was like these little braids. And the way my mom had my hair, it was in front of my eyes, so you couldn't see all the way. And she really asked me that. And I remember I looked at her like, what do you mean, do I really want you to do that? Like, I was like, it was like abuse, but on another level. Like, it was not no regular whooping, like how people get the belt and they whip their kids a few times. Like, I had got beat up. So then after that, they called CPS and everything, and then that's when they put me in. They had to take me to the hospital because my bruises and everything was very severe. So they had to keep me in the hospital. And when they kept me in the hospital, it was just like, the nurses and stuff, they were just like really nice, but they're going to be nice in situations like that. They just x-rayed me and stuff like that. I had some like really damage like to the back of my head and my arms and my legs and stuff. So they wanted to keep me for labs and stuff like that to make sure that the bruising wasn't too bad and stuff like that. So after that, when I got discharged from the hospital, that's when I went to the agency. And then after that, they had put me into a foster home. I can't remember my first foster home because I was in so many foster homes. It did not make no sense. But I know they put me in a foster home. I don't know where the first one was at, but I know the second one, it was around Trinidad. It was this, I think it was this, it was a lot of kids in the house. So, moving on, I was away from my mom and everything, and they had to go to court and stuff like that, but I don't think they ever took me to court. I was in a foster home, and that was okay, kind of, but that foster home wasn't all that good. I ended up leaving that one, but through the time that I was like going through all these foster homes and stuff like that, I was also going through a lot at school too, because kids would make fun of me when they realized that I didn't like live with my mom and stuff. Because like, I used to hang out with like a lot of kids in the neighborhood. Like, everybody, before all these electronics and stuff came out, everybody used to go outside. It didn't used to be in the house on the phone and stuff like that. Like, everybody was outside playing. But on top of not being with, I didn't have no family, and I wasn't with nobody, didn't know who my father was. I was getting bullied at school too, when kids started to find out that I was in foster care and stuff. So I was embarrassed at first because I didn't want nobody talking about me. But eventually, people figured it out because like different social workers would pick me up from school and stuff like that. So then I started getting bullied and stuff. I barely wanted to go to school. I like hated my life for a long time because people used to make fun of me and everything. But then when that was 6th or 7th grade, when 8th grade hit, I was just like, it was a whole new me. I started beating people up. And I know some people say like, people get bullied so then they become a bully. I did not become a bully. I beat up the people that attempted to bully me. Anybody that may be watching this that is in foster care or might be getting bullied or going through a situation like that, I'm not the best example, so just don't take my advice on it. But if you are getting bullied or something like that, then you do need to stand up for yourself. And I'm not telling you that you should go put your hands on somebody, but if somebody keeps messing with you or they put their hands on you, you need to beat them up. You need to beat them up. So, I don't care. Some people say you gotta kill people with kindness. If somebody's bullying you and they come and they put their hands on you, you need to punch them right in the face. And That's just them that if they're bigger than you or they're smaller than you, and if you're scared, you put up the best fight that you can, and you don't take no for answer, even if you lose or not, or if you do happen to get beat up. As long as you fought back, that's all that matters. If they're saying like mean things about you and they're talking about you, you can always try to ignore that. But for some people, words do hurt. But personally, if they put your hands on you, you put your hands back. You don't let nobody touch you, because that's bullying is not cool. But yeah, and in 6th and 7th grade, people talked about me and they bullied me a lot. Then 8th grade, that's when I put my foot down and I was fighting people. I think I was at Friendship at the time. I went to this school called Friendship. And when people used to talk about me and stuff like that, it was just like slap, because my situation ain't nobody business. I never told nobody my business, but I had to get on what they say, the cheese bus. I had to get on the cheese bus because I had lived so far. I was from DC. I grew up in DC, and they put me in a foster home all the way in Maryland. So I had to get on a school bus, and it would take me all the way to DC. And I guess to kids, if you got on a school bus, you was slow with special needs, because special needs is the people that caught the school buses was people that was special needs that just needed more help and stuff like that. So people used to try to talk to me about that, slap. I even got into a fight with a boy before because I don't care. Like, that's when I had enough, and nobody was just gonna sit there and talk about me. Like, people just like talked about me all the time. The talking, I didn't really care too much because I started coming back at the mouth. And if anybody knows me now, I got a mouth on me. And if you come at me or you disrespect me, you gonna hit my mouth. But other than that, if you leave me alone, I ain't gonna say nothing to you. But then sometimes people just got too much. It was just too much talking about me, talking about my mom. At the time, I still did like my mom. So people talk about my mom, like call her like crackheads and all types of stuff like that. Used to slap people, fight people. I was getting suspended a lot. I do not recommend doing this for anybody. Try to resolve your problems a different way. But this is just my story and how I resolved it. Anybody that I went to Friendship with, if you know, I used to always get suspended. I was always in school suspension because I used to always be fighting people because people were saying stuff to me. I had to beat a couple of people up in order for people to stop messing with me. But when it came to 9th grade, high school, I had calmed down. Like, people still used to like try to crack jokes and talk about me and stuff, but I came back with my mouth. I didn't really have to fight nobody in 9th grade when I went to WMST, but I still had to stand up for myself mouth wise, and then people would just like really leave me alone. But that's how I guess growing up in foster care was so far as school for me. I really had to do that. And then as far as my social life, I used to be really antisocial because, like I said, my foster homes would be all the way out in Maryland, and I was from DC. That's where like most of my friends was. Well, the friends that didn't try to bully me in school, because some people I thought I was friends with when I was in middle school, but then when they found out I was in foster care, they bullied me. So that was just the dead end. But the people that were still friends with me, no matter my situation, they were all the way in they were all the way in DC, and I was in Maryland, so I couldn't hang out with nobody. I couldn't go nowhere. And I lived in this one foster home when I was 13, when I was 14 and 15. And her name was Diana Proctor. Diana Proctor Williams. She had 2 last names because she was married. Then she was divorced. She had 2 daughters. And I lived there for 2 years. And that's really how I gained like a lot of weight. She never took me anywhere. She like left me. She didn't leave me locked in the house, but she like, everybody would leave while I would sleep, and they would go out. They would go to the mall. They would go shopping. They would go get food and stuff. And then she would come back in the house, and I would just be there. Like, it was food in the house, so that's all I did was eat and just watch TV. And then I would just go to school, and that was really that much. But it was like so terrible. Like, it was like, I don't know. I couldn't do anything. I felt stuck, everything. So that's when I had started, like, I used to take NyQuil a lot. Like, it was like a escape, but I don't know how to explain it so much. Like, how would I say this? I used to drink it. I didn't used to drink it like drink the whole bottle, but since I was left in the house so much, the bottle used to be in a closet, and I would just drink some of it. And like I would drink the measurements per night just to go to sleep, because I just wanted to sleep my life away, because I really didn't like my life at the time. It was just so boring. I was just like left alone, just like feel so trapped and stuff. So I just wanted to sleep, just sleep my life away. And then I had stopped doing that. So I'm editing the video, and sorry to put this clip in there like that. Please excuse my oily face. I noticed that in one of the foster homes I talked about that I did not mention this, but the foster parent Diana Proctor Williams that I was talking about, at the time she was single. She wasn't married, but she did have a boyfriend. And one time in the foster home, she had 2 daughters. I'm not going to say her daughter's names. That's going to be disclosed. But like I said in the story, she had 2 daughters. But besides her taking the foster care money that she was getting to like fix up her house and spend it on whatever she was spending it on, one day her boyfriend, his name was Carl, he came over and he was like really drunk. And they were like sitting in her room and stuff like that. And she said something to me. And oh, that's what she said. We were in the room and he came over and he was drunk. I'm sorry, y'all, because it happened a while ago. I was like 14 or 15. Me and her daughter were sitting in the room with her, and we were all watching TV, and he came in and he was drunk. So she told us, she was like, can y'all get out the room so I could talk to y'all father? And I was like, that's not my father. And because he wasn't, so I said that. I was like, that's not my father. So he felt some type of way about it, and I get he was drunk too, like he was under the influence. So then he was like, what did you just say to me, little girl? He was like, I'll slap the SH out of you. And then he got up and he tried to get in my face, and then she had got in the middle and she had stopped it. But when I had told my social worker that it had happened, I don't think they believed me, but she tried to make him apologize to me, but I didn't even accept his apology, because you don't do that. His daughter was right there, and would you would have said that to your daughter? You wasn't. All I simply said was that wasn't my father, and he got mad and he said that he was going to slap me. And I was like, what, 13, 14 at the time, I think I said in the video. So I just want to add that in there too. That was another bad experience in a foster home. So yeah, when I left the house, they would never let me leave the house. Like I used to talk to my social workers and everything. Nobody used to let me like leave. Like all the foster homes I left them because I either had to destroy something in the house, or I had to try to fight one of their family members. That's the only way that I've ever gotten out of a foster home. And when I figured out that that was the key, I know it probably sounds like so like wrong, I don't know, but it's like with the foster care system, it's like you gotta know how to work your way around them, and that was my way to work my way around them. So they would like put me in a foster home, and it was like terrible, and I would just start something. Like I give it a try though. Like I stay there for a month or something, or something. Like if it was bad, I would still try to give it a try, and I would still try to stay there. And then when things started to get like terrible, that's when I was just like, oh no. And I would just try to do something, and then they would put me in the next home. So that's how I just got removed from one home to the next. But the home that I was telling you guys about that I lived in with the lady, that she used to take her daughters out, and they would always go out and leave me in the house. And they would always leave me in the house. It was just like, oh, that's what I'm trying to say. So every foster parent gets a foster care check. And it might not be a lot, but the system, they give what they think is right, which is sometimes is not enough to provide the needs of a kid. But she used to get a check for me, and the check, they're supposed to like give you an allowance, like $20 a week or something, depending on the agency, and they're supposed to like buy you clothes. She never brought me clothes. And when I first moved into our house, she was like, her house was being like renovated, like it was getting fixed up like in the kitchen. And when I was there, the whole time I was there, the kitchen was getting fixed up, but I never once received any clothes, and I never received an allowance. And that's how that went, and that's how that was. After that, my 10th grade year, oh my God. So my 10th grade year in foster care, I had got a job. I was 16, and I had got a job at this pizza place at Little Caesars. Y'all probably know about Little Caesars. So I had got a job there, and I lived in this foster home that I would never in a million years like would ever recommend anybody live there. But I had got a job so I could provide for myself. I was going to school. I was working after school. And then when I came home, I had a list of chores to do. I mean, I had to clean up after people in the house. I had to clean the bathroom, I think 2 days a week. I had to clean the kitchen. I had to clean the day room, which is like a living room. And I had to clean, and I think I had to clean the living room too. Like, I had so much stuff to do. And in that house, it wasn't more like if you cook, you clean. Even if you didn't cook or you didn't eat, I still had to clean up after everybody in the house. And I stayed there for about a year, and I was like, yeah, this is not it for me, because I know some people like to teach life lessons and stuff and teach you how to do stuff and how to clean and how to cook and stuff like that. I knew how to do most of that stuff when I was like 12, because I had to learn young. I had to start life young. I had to learn how to do stuff on my own. So going to somebody else's house and cleaning up after adults at that, and I'm just like, because it was like, it wasn't even that I was cleaning up after people in the house. I was cleaning up after people that just came over, would just eat. Family members would come over and cook, and then they would just dip out, and then I had to come and clean the kitchen up and stuff like that. And I wouldn't even be home. Like, I could be out with my mentor, and they would have a whole feast in the house, and then I would have to come home and clean it up like I was a slave or a maid or something like that. Okay, so in the video, I'm buttoning it again. In the video I recorded, I feel like I should break it down more so nobody thinks that like I'm trying to be funny or this is like really a joke. In the previous video, I said that I was doing a lot and I felt like I was kind of like a slave or a maid. I know that slavery is a lot, and it's something important and it's something serious, and so is foster care too. Not the deep, dirty work that they made slaves do, like be out in the field picking cotton or stuff like that. Like, not like that. Like, if y'all ever seen or y'all heard or y'all read y'all history books about a slave that like was in the house and stuff like that, they cooked, they cleaned, like they took care of the kids, all that other stuff. Like, in foster care, it's like when you there and they don't want you or something like that, they send you to the next person, like kind of like to the highest bidder. Oh, you don't want to be here, boom, they send you to the next foster home. I've been in foster homes where I cooked, I cleaned, I couldn't go nowhere. Like I said, refrigerators was locked and some more stuff. So it's just a little bit of what I seen and like what I felt, and that's why I expressed it like that. Like, I just feel like I really feel like most of the homes that I was in, I was like a little maid that they just sent around, kind of. So if that kind of explains all this. And it was just like a lot. So after I had left that house, I went to a few more, and it just wasn't like all that. Like, I don't know, I had to put a couple of like foster parents in their place. Some just don't, I don't know, I lost track of what I wanted to say. But my point is, that's kind of like my story. I'll probably make a part 2 going more into detail, because I know that I probably forgot some things. But I'm just gonna end with this. Foster care is not all that it seems. Like, how they seem like, oh, we're helping people out, we're helping kids out. Oh, wait, before I finish, it was this one foster home when I was 16, another one when I was 16, about to be 17, that I had lived in. Her name was, what was her name? I think it was Miss Martin. I don't know what her name was, but she lived by Capitol Heights. That's in DC for people who's out of the state and don't know what I'm talking about. It was such a terrible home. She locked the freezers. Now, I cannot make this up. Like, I know some people think that stuff is a joke and people don't really do that, or some people do believe that it's true. This lady locked the freezer. Like, when you went in a house, it was a small house. It was a deep freezer right here that was locked. It was a regular refrigerator, then it was a long freezer. and the deep freezer had all the good name brand food in it, and then the fridge had like spoiled food and stuff like that. And one day I went downstairs like to get something to eat, and I seen the deep freezer right there. I never went in it before because she doesn't tell you that she locks it. It's just locked. So I went and I opened it, and it was like chicken nuggets and stuff, like ice cream, like all this like good name brand stuff. And I guess she forgot to like I guess she forgot to lock it, and it was unlocked. And I just seen it, but I didn't see anything I wanted, so I just closed it back. So another day when I was hungry and I went down there to get something, it was locked. And I asked her about it, and she was like, she does lock it. And she fed me like she could not cook. And one day she cooked this nasty spaghetti, and I was so hungry I ate it. I had got sick, and I forgot what it was called, but I was sick, and I had to take this medicine for 3 months every time I ate because I couldn't keep anything down. I don't think it was food poisoning, because I would remember them telling me food poisoning, but it was just like I had to take Tums and stuff like that every time I ate, and this medicine that they also prescribed me because my stomach just hurt so bad and I couldn't eat anything. It was just terrible. I forgot what her name was, but she was terrible too. They just pick anybody. If you ask me, the system, especially the DC system, they got all this money, and they pick anybody to be a foster parent that don't have a background. They just let them be one and don't really be caring. I got stories and stories and stories for days on some homes that I lived in that was just terrible, and it just trifling people, just disgusting, just people who just want money. I can go on and on and on for days, like literally. I'm gonna answer another question just in case somebody asks. Am I in a bad home now? No, I am not. I've been where I'm at right now probably for about 4 years now. Almost 5 probably, or probably is 5 years. I'm not in a bad home. I'm actually in a good one. I don't have any problems. I go and come as I please. I'm never questioned. I do what I want. I mean, I'm older. I don't have no problems here. That's why I'm still here, because if I did, then I wouldn't be here. I get along with everybody really great. But as far as the past foster homes, they're terrible. And the system sets people up to fail. And then they wonder why half of the kids that are foster kids go out and they do drugs or they do all this other stuff. That's because the system sets them up to fail. And I don't know. Foster care is so terrible. It's really terrible. Like, it's terrible. But some more questions. I'm just gonna answer real quick. Do I still have contact with my biological mother? No, I do not talk to her. I haven't talked to her for years. My father, I found out who my father was when I was 12, like when I first got into the system. I found out who my father was. I don't really have nothing to say too much on my father. I mean, I've met him. I've spoke to him a few times. I've seen him a few times. My grandmother, my father's mother, I still stop pass by and I see them. Here we go. I still stop pass by and speak to them occasionally, like my grandma and them. I don't talk to my father at all. He's nothing special to me. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Now his wife, my stepmom, I do talk to her. I do keep in contact with her because she's raising my little brothers and sisters, and I really do care for them. So that I do keep in contact with my stepmother. So because she's really sweet and nice and stuff. But as far as my father, I don't really care for him. My mother, my biological mother, I don't talk to her. I really don't care for her. My brothers, I got a few brothers and sisters on my father's side and mother's side combined. We talk occasionally, not really too much. Everybody's just living their own life. What else? What's some other questions y'all might want to know? I don't know. I might make a part 2. It's 9:13 p.m. February 3rd. I'm probably forgetting a lot of stuff that I wanted to include, but like I said, the system is terrible. They act like they're all good. Half of the people that work for this, half of the people that work for the system should not work for the system. Half of the people that have a job with the system shouldn't work, shouldn't have a job. Half of the foster parents, they should not be foster parents, because they'll tell you that they don't get paid enough to do it, but then they still doing it to receive a check. So obviously you get paid some type of money. It might not be a lot, but you get paid enough for you to want to keep doing it if you really don't want to do it. People always, like, I've had people interview me a few times about being a foster kid and stuff like that. I've had a lot of interviews. Nothing's really done to the system. That's why I really don't care for interviews no more. Like, people used to, like, always want to ask me, like, for interviews and my input on stuff and stuff like that. But the interview is just the interview. You ask me questions about the system, you're not doing nothing about it. So that's a little bit of my story. And what I'm gonna do is, let's just get to the outro. So this was my story. Thank you so much for everybody who watched it. I've never opened up like this. A few people know my story, but not so much a lot. In the link below, I'm gonna add some numbers, some hotline numbers for like anybody who watches this that's in foster care, anybody who's like suicidal hotlines and stuff like that. And I'm gonna put my personal, I usually don't link my personal Instagram, but under this video I'm gonna link my personal Instagram just in case anybody is like went through anything that I did go through and you want somebody to talk to, no matter what part of the world you're in. I'm gonna link my personal Instagram so you can shoot me a DM and I will reply if you would like to just talk. I'm always willing to talk to people and hear people's stories. And if you are in the foster care system and it's not going well for you, I would be wrong to sit here and lie and say that it's going to get better. It's a 50% chance that it will get better, and it's a 50% chance that it will not get better. But life is what you make it, and we did not ask to be put in the system. We did not ask to be put in a position that we were placed in. But all I do is have to say is you will have to make the best out of it. You didn't ask for it, but you will have to make the best out of it. So yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say, oh, it's gonna get better, this, that, da, da, da. You make the best out of what you can, and you do what you can to make yourself happy in the situation that you're in. Always try to find the bright side of your situation. Anybody that is in foster care, if you are depressed, if you do have suicidal thoughts or anything like that, I really feel as though that it's important that you say something to your social worker, or you try to like get in contact with somebody so you can get a therapist and you can get those problems worked out, because people do go through a lot in the foster care system, probably more than what I'm talking about. People probably don't come forward with their stories a lot, but anybody that does have suicidal thoughts, killing yourself will not be the answer, because you will be killing yourself is not the option, because somebody does love you and somebody does like your existence, and you shouldn't cut your life short regardless of what you're going through. You should continue to live, and you should continue to fight through it, because it's a lot of people that have had situations worse than you. It's a lot of people that could and are potentially dying, and they would love to be in your place, which is still alive. Maybe not so much your position, but they would still love to be alive. So like I said, if you're having any of those issues, you can reach out to me and we can figure out a way for you to like get some type of help. But I would rather you reach out to a hotline or reach out to your social worker or somebody like that, so you can get the real help that you need, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not psychiatric or anything like that. I'm just a person that you could talk to if you want to talk to somebody. So if you would like to talk to somebody about your problems, then I'm the person. I'm here for it. I'll listen. Like I said, if you're depressed or you're having any suicidal thoughts about a situation you're in, then you really should talk to your social worker about getting a therapist and getting some help. by a real like doctor and stuff like that, so you can overcome that. So thank you so much for watching this video. This is majority of my story. If I remember stuff that I did not put in this video, then I will give you guys a part 2. If you guys have any questions about the foster care system, I'm a ward of the DC state, so I'm a ward of DC. I said the DC state. You guys know what I mean. I'm a ward of DC, so I know about the DC foster care system. I do have friends that's part of the Maryland foster care system. So if you guys want to know any more questions, you want any more want to go deeper in, I guess, and y'all want to ask some more questions about the inside or more stuff that I didn't reach out to, I think I reached the main parts in this video about my story, so I don't think it gets any deeper than that. But if you guys have any more questions, put it in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer them. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, you like, subscribe, and that's all. So yeah, bye.